Good morning, good afternoon, and God bless everybody. My name is Ryder Rivera, and today I want to answer the question, why is time more important than you think, and is social media destroying us? So it's two questions today. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. If you watched not only the first video I posted, I think it was 2 days ago now, and the video that I posted yesterday. Yes, this is the same exact hoodie that I was wearing for yesterday's video. I'm recording them back to back. But yeah, I just want to say thank you if you have come this far. I will say that if you have any questions about the topic of today's video or anything that I say in this video, please leave a comment down below, and hopefully, I'm still testing waters with all of this, but hopefully I'll be able to answer them in a video with a full video, or even just in the middle or at the end of the next video that I may post. So thank you so far, appreciate it. If you no, I'll just leave it as it is. Anyways, I'm going to get into why is time more important than you think. The first point that I want to make is that time is finite. And when I say time, I want to relate it to death. I think that death makes it a very simple thing to understand. That we only have so much time in this life, and as much as a lot of us, especially people my age, don't like thinking about death, I do think that it is important to talk about, and we are getting older, becoming more and more adults and such, and I would hope and pray that anybody watching, especially if you're around my age, that you haven't experienced much death in your life. I've been grateful and thankful that I haven't had to experience too much in my life. However, I can't deny that it's something that is looming around, you know. So, back to the point, time is finite, you know. At some point it is our time, and I don't want to linger around this too long about death and such, but that is what I mean by time is more important than you think. I think back to spending time. I think to spending time with the people around us. I think back to, I'm 22 years old, so high school for me was, from 2017 up until 2021, and if anybody that I know is watching this and you know me, hi, how's it going? I just want to say that I think back to any of the times that maybe we have spent together, or with anybody else during that time period, that I no longer see or talk to or even think about for the most part. It's not out of any disrespect, it's just that life continues to move on, time continues to move on, and you don't think about these things as much anymore. You don't think about the times that you spent so much anymore, nor the people as much anymore. I also think about the different jobs that I've had at this point. I've had a couple different ones that, to this day, and there's so many different co-workers or friends or people that I've met so far that I no longer really talk to like that. They have a life that a life and a path that they are on, and I have a life and a path that I'm on. And I'm starting to realize how precious the time is that we spend with a lot of these people. Now, I know I just mentioned those two examples, but I have to go out and say family members as well. Again, I would hope that death hasn't come across you at any point of your life so far. However, if it has, I hope you're doing okay, and I hope you're doing well, and maybe you may understand this more than some others that are watching this. But the time that we do spend with people is very precious, and it should be treated as such. And if you can be so present and so in the moment with people, you're gonna have the fullest of moments with people. If you can be as present as possible and understand how precious life is and how much time that you can possibly spend with people. Not out of scarcity, like, oh, I don't know if this will be the last time kind of way, but that even though this may be, I'm very grateful that I get a chance to even be around this person. And just let that be what it is. It's going to bring you forward towards the present and bring you forward towards really just sinking in that moment and really just being as vibrant as you possibly could be in that moment. I'm not saying being very loud or even obnoxious or yelling or whatever strong emotions that may arise in you. I'm just saying just being so enveloped by the moment that you're in that it's just different. It's a lot different than kind of just coasting through these moments of life. Because I believe that if we continue to coast through these moments with these people, that we're going to miss out on the life that we do have and that we do get to spend with people. Because unfortunately at some point it really does just stop. And you never know if that'll be the last time that you spend with some people. So time is more important than you think in that aspect. I do have a couple of different ways of going about talking about time and it being very important, but I think that's where I want to start with that conversation. Later on down the line, I want to get into more examples of such, especially about where you decide to spend your time, because I don't think you should use it as a motivation of fear to ignore absolutely everybody and only live your own life and just obliterate all these relationships around you, which I know can happen, but more just being wiser about the choices that you make and the relationships that you decide to have. And I'm not only talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, father, daughter, or anything like that. I'm also talking about in a physical sense to not only just material things that you may have around you, you know, your car, your video games, your cell phone, smartphone, your phone, whatever you want to call it. Look at me. I think I have a couple examples down. I don't have it here. But yeah, those relationships that you have in that sense, they may not be the typical relationships you think about when spending time with people, but spending time with things is still spending time. So we can't knock that down. So the second question that I have here is social media destroying us? And it has to do in relation to time. And I want to tell a little bit of a story of where I'm at with social media. I've been pretty much on and off with social media for the past like 2 to 3 years, maybe even longer. At first, I kind of just wanted to get away from it just because to me it felt really pointless to me. So it just came from I see no reason for me to be here. That's why I never really was on it. Then I started learning more about myself with, not even just myself, but with other people not being on social media as well. The biggest reason why I went off of it was because I felt like I'd be wasting time. If you ever have seen by the end of the week while you're on your phone, if you have an Apple iPhone, it would tell you spend on average every single day X amount of time. And I don't know if you really pay attention to it, but anytime I pay attention to it, I notice the variations of how much time that I spend on it, and it made me think about how much time I'm spending on the different things that I'm doing on there. And a majority of the time it's social media, right? At least when I would be on it for the most part. Now, when I'm saying social media, I am counting YouTube, Twitter, and other things that maybe you might not be thinking about. But I'm talking about everything. Your YouTube, your Twitter, your Instagram, your TikTok, anything in between, basically, that you can think of. Now, me pointing that out is because I want to put this into perspective for you. Say, for instance, that you spend 4 hours every single day scrolling, or actually, better yet, just doing whatever you do on social media. Imagine at the end of the week, it literally gives you a summary, and it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On average, you spend about 4 hours on whatever kinds of social media. However you justify it, however you decide to use your time on being on that. I have to go out and ask, I wonder what you would be doing if you didn't have the social media. Like, what would your choice of spending your time on be? What else would you choose to do with your time? Now, for me, I found myself having and finding the time and making the time to start making music, or to learn about business and reading books about business. I honestly don't really like reading like that, but I found interest in different genres. Maybe I just wasn't reading the right books, right? But just giving other things second thoughts and just trying stuff and figuring out what I like and what I don't like. Giving myself the opportunity to make mistakes and to come back from them and try to learn more than anything. So between reading books and trying to make music, learning about business, taking on the Bible and reading the Bible, learning more about working out, learning more about relationships, spending more time in relationships, and I'm sure more stuff that I can't even really think of. But all that time that I would have been spending on social media, I instead spent on trying to learn more about myself. Let me just say that. Learn more about the things that I actually like and find to want to do. I find more than anything, when it comes to the topic that I brought up and the question, is social media destroying us? It's not in a sense that it's destroying, it's more of that it's not letting you become who you could possibly be. It's almost as if you have like this potential in a bottle, but every single time you spend however long you do on social media every single week, it's almost like you're putting a lid right on top of that bottle of potential. But the only way to actually let that potential seep out is to give yourself opportunity and a little bit of strength to uncap that bottle a little bit, over and over again. Just continuously over and over again, just a little bit, and then a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I can understand some reasons why you would never really want to open that bottle, but I just want to encourage you and say that that bottle of potential is absolutely always there. So, you know, it's worth looking into, and it's worth paying attention to. So, I know I haven't been on social media that much, but I know that I've learned a lot, and that it was worth it. And I'm grateful towards all that time. I'm grateful that I got a chance to learn who Jesus was. More than anything, that's what I'm most grateful for. I remember it was a name that was always just tossed around, and I didn't quite understand him or who he was. I understand there was a lot of negativity and positivity surrounding his name, and I didn't quite understand it either. But in trying to learn who he was and trying to get to know him, it brought me to a place that I wish I came to sooner. So, first and foremost, I love Jesus, and He is the reason why I am filled with so much light as of recently, especially with the things that go on in the world today. Now, I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but it's worth it. So, I would just recommend just taking a look. If you ever are curious about the time that you're spending, or are ever curious that you could be in a different spot in life, I'm going to say that odds are maybe you could be. The potential's there, and the capability is absolutely there, especially if we're at the age that we're at right now. Matter of fact, even if you're at the age of like 60 or 70, it actually doesn't even make a difference, really. I think at some point another video that I want to make is talking about success, because I'm actually just going to leave this as a little bit of a teaser for a video that I may make at a point in time, because I think it would be one of the most interesting videos that I make. Which is that success looks completely different to absolutely everybody. And we have to acknowledge that. Success is not the same across the board. It is not. And I want you to ponder that and think about that. Success is not the same for everybody. So, again, it doesn't really matter what age you start to do anything. I just want to say that putting your time in specific places and into specific things is worth your while. So pay attention to the time that you are spending with people and with different things. Because the more time that you spend with people and whatever the things that you spend time with are, you're building those things up regardless of how you feel about it. You're building a habit, you're building a relationship, you're building something with it. And that's important to note. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that thought there. And I want to say again, thank you so much for watching this. I want to say thank you so much for watching this, and if you have any thoughts or any questions about anything that I talked about in this video, anything at all actually, just put it down in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer it, or even get back to you in the comments as well. So just let me know what you think. Any feedback is appreciated, and if you did like it, if you did like it, do like the video and do share the video as well, which I do appreciate. So thank you again for watching this. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I am absolutely enjoying mine. God bless you, and have a nice day. See you.